The modern-day economy is heavily based on oil and other natural, non-renewable energy sources. From ships to cars, the entire transportation sector is built around oil. The limitations of these resources in a capitalist economy have paved the way for the division of society in terms of wealth. Freud, Peterson, and Noam Chomsky themselves agree to the fact that the modern capitalism has diverged from its true principles. Peterson argues that the mouthpiece that capitalism uses to manage individual behavior has great influence on the way we understand and articulate the world around us. Chomsky, on the other hand, criticizes that the actual power does not lie in the hands of common people, but rather with corporations and policymakers who have true control over the economy. Chomsky completely dismisses the idea of the existence of true capitalism. He argues that as long as the economy is run under private control, the power is with key private players, and the economic policies reflect the interests of these private parties and don't make any difference in the society at large. The situations in the transportation domain are no different. UCLA historian Eric Avila in the Journal of Urban History has showcased an example of the diverging fates of Beverly Hills and Boyle Heights through the Los Angeles Metro during 1975. The wealth of Beverly Hills meant that they could amass studies and reports to defeat the freeway project that would have cut across its center. With no such resources, the heavily Hispanic area of Boyle Heights could only succumb to 6 freeways slicing through its neighborhood. Avila notices that it was not because there were no protests, but the protests of the ones with less means have only less value. Thus, a small group of individuals control the customer decisions and frame corresponding policies for the entire society. That is not true democracy. A transportation system which works purely under this economic system will naturally be undemocratic. Linking the socio-political situation back to city planning and car usage, one can easily understand the explanation for growth of dependency on cars. That means in a city planned and built for cars, only those who have access to a car would have access to the city and the opportunities it offers. That leaves a portion of people out of a stable economy, creating wider inequities, just because they don't have access to a car. All these statements point to the fact that there needs to be a change in the fundamentals of our economic system. This project does not intend to change the economic and political scenario, but will understand and push for effective implementation of a transportation system that reflects the interests of the larger society by studying the mobility patterns, barriers, and dependencies of low-income, automobile-dependent people in the East Hollywood area, employing the principles of democracy. Thus, transportation democracy in this project is defined as a scenario where people's potential for movement are equitably distributed within the current political boundaries, and their mobility choices are not dictated or restricted by an external, non-natural agency. From the literature review done previously, it is concluded that there is a need for a fundamental social change to bring true democracy in transportation. Various authors have addressed the issue of social change in various contexts and in various ways, but seldom in the context of transportation. There is clearly a gap or opportunity lying there which needs to be addressed to increase mobility capital and thereby bring democracy in transportation.